The Lincoln Tunnel, through Weehawken, through Secaucus, across the Hackensack River, and you'll arrive, as we have, at MetLife Stadium at East Rutherford, New Jersey. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. And Dak going to start out going to the air. That is caught by Lamb. He's to the 15. And did he get in? No. Down at the 1-yard line. A big play there on the first play of the game. 69 yards.
And what a letdown after a huge play. He's going to pull this in and then set sail for the end zone. And he nearly made it too. But he's going to be tracked down just short of the goal line. So a big play there that's going to set him up with 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make 2nd down pretty tough.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Now it's a bootleg with Prescott. Toward the pylon, but it's incomplete.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on 3rd down.
A big play to start the drive got him in this position, but this defense has held firm since, and now it's 3rd and goal. Now Prescott. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. Jake Ferguson laying himself out in the end zone. And the Cowboys are on the board first here this afternoon. That was a big throw right there on 3rd and goal.
And the defense has to be prepared for you to throw the ball on 3rd and goal. Because really 2nd down, 2nd and goal, that's your play action time, and you're not sure whether they're going to run it or throw it. 3rd down, you're usually sure they're probably going to pass it. Even more impressive that they got it done. And on the opening drive of the game.
So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. And New York set to take the field. Back to throw. Fields. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Credit that sack to Dante Fowler Jr. And they get to him right out of the gate. And this defense hoping that that's a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah, when you give up a first-play sack, makes your quarterback wonder if he's going to go to the sidelines and talk with his offense coordinator and head coach and say, hey, you know that game plan we put together? We might need to change it right now.
This pass complete to Ruckert. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, you know, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, you know, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to it.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. A loss of 3 on the sack made by multiple defenders. The start of this game shaping up nicely on that visiting sideline.
Yeah, how about that? You get your points on the opening drive. Then you get a big sack there on 3rd down, and you make the home crowd go, shh.
There is a hush indeed. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Good starting position for the Cowboys here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Prescott down. That's caught. It's a rookie from Oregon. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
Prescott to throw it. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. The Jets will bring in a nickel set here as they try to stop this 3rd down. They'll try to run for it with Blue. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. Yes, it's the first half, but we'll see if that stuff there on 3rd and 1 comes back to haunt him.
I hope you don't mind, but it's not going to stop me from putting a check mark next to this play. Let's look back as this game progresses and see if this is one of the key plays in the game, even though it occurred early.
Back onto the field come the New York Jets for their 2nd drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
Connection made to Ruckert. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup there, especially when it comes on the heels of a 3-and-out the first time you have the ball. They were determined to not have that happen again, and that's a nice throw for their first down of the game.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Next, the receivers helped spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
Hall again on 2nd down. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. Fields now to throw. That's going to be caught by Josh Reynolds. And he's taken down inside the 30. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another 1st.
Kind of a dangerous throw there. He's off balance when he gets rid of it. But this is all about a quarterback knowing what he can get away with. And that time, it turns into a completion and a healthy gain as well.
Fields. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. Jeremy Ruckert, 28 yards. And the Jets are an extra point away from drawing level.
We're still in the first quarter, but it's apparent they're going to have to come up with a different defensive game plan for him because right now he's kind of having his way against that defense and has added a touchdown to the list. How do you slow him down? They're going to have to mix up some coverages, maybe change who's guarding him.
Carlson's extra point up and good. And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 37. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. A short one there taken in by Ferguson. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the 1st down.
On 1st down, it's Blue. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. Same exact result as last play, a pickup of 11. There was a little space there, yes, but that was a well-executed run by the rookie.
It was, and he wasn't one of the higher-rated rookie running backs coming out. He's probably on the next tier. But let me tell you something. If he becomes more consistent and continues to have that drive to be one of the best, we'll see more of that in the future.
And he gets it down to the 32.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Looking to throw. Prescott. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 2 yards, good enough for a 1st. Now Blue trying the right side. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Now Prescott. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
I think that's how this defense is going to need to play these tight ends. They got to get right up on them and stay physical. And that paid off on that play, helping force that incompletion.
They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. Prescott. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Like a freight train there, Derek Nottie with a sack. And, of course, that's not an easy man to sack. You know how elusive he can be, trying to get outside of the pocket. That was a great play on the defensive side.
And I wonder what was going through his mind, because he didn't seem as committed to using his legs to pick up yardage. He wanted to keep that play alive, so either take off and go or throw it away. But he held on to the football and ended up getting sacked.
So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue, because you know after the sack there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
So after the made field goal, back out is Aubrey to kick this away. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. And New York set to take the field. Here's Fields. He completes that to Garrett Wilson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The catch and run, good for 18 and a 1st down.
Defensively going forward, they're going to have to watch out for him on plays just like that. It's a drag route across the field, and they're trying to free him up and let him run after the catch. That won't be the last time we see that play, and it works there to pick up a first down.
And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. 16 more on that one and another first down.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
Throw over the middle. He's got Ruckert. It'll be a gain of 5, and that will bring up second down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 37. Now it's Fields. Throwing for the out route, he finds Wilson. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
But certainly as a fan, you get a little bit nervous when you see him make those kind of throws. But they work on that in practice more than we know. And most of them now know their limits and know what they can get away with. And there's a completion right there.
And his throw here's incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Hall on a give up the middle. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. (10-7) our score after 1 right here on EA Sports. Second quarter now from MetLife Stadium. The Jets with the football here. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Out of the gun, Fields. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Jets first down by about a yard. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4.
At first glance, I thought he just used his size in order to win the route. But he also had a little subtle move in there as well. Made the defender think he was going one direction and was able to track the ball in another.
Here's Fields. Reynolds with a catch out on the right side. So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be 2nd down. Back to the ground with Hall. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the first down.
They'll run with Hall. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, I know a defensive coordinator is going to be pretty excited by what he just saw there. Great knockback by their front. And now with the ball where it is, I would expect to see the offense throw the ball on 2nd and 3rd down here.
They'll go again with Hall. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. So stuff for no gain on 2nd down brings up a pretty interesting 3rd from this distance.
I'm throwing the ball, and I'm not even thinking about play pass. I'm going to let them know right away I'm throwing it, but I'm probably giving my quarterback some room, sprint him out to one side or the other, and give him an opportunity. If it breaks down, he can take off and run for it.
To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while. But when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will knot us up at 10. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The time to get another look at this Cowboys offense. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave them with a second and just a few inches left.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or man coverage. The drag route can be effective when it's run well.
A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches. Now a give up the middle to Williams. And this is going to be a Cowboys first down as good running gets him to about the 44.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for them. Show them that you're supposed to get the football.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Now Dak on the option left. And he'll take it across midfield down into jet territory. He'll pick up 7 there on the first down keeper.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it, and while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
They go with blue between the tackles. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. On 3rd down, they run with blue. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. And did he put that on a dime? He did. Wow. Out of bounds at the 1-yard line. New York's offense back out there and set to go. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
Yeah, maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see.
That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a first down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chattering now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
And that was a good collision right there. And I know this as a former defender. If you're playing linebacker, you're going through a checklist on every play on who you think's going to get the ball and where you think the ball's going to go. Rarely do you expect the fullback position to get it, And on that play he did, so you got to steel yourself at that point because the contact is going to be strong.
And he is going to have a Jets first down, and he's going to have it by plenty, able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
So that last play gives him a little more space now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. To throw is Fields. And Fields going to have the first down before sliding to a halt to avoid the contact. Turns out to be a great idea to tuck that one. Good for 24 yards.
Certainly not the way they drew it up in the playbook, but that's why they love this guy back there. He sees things breaking down, and he's more than capable of finding an escape route and still getting a decent gain.
Now Fields. Slant pass. He's got Reynolds. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And only a couple there as he'll take this up to the 47.
But that's all about doing the dirty work right there defensively. 2nd and short yardage, that's all about plugging those gaps, not giving a running back a crease to run through, and has a nice job to hold him just a couple and force a 3rd down.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. They'll run with Hall. And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Let's face it, when you have a guy who can pick up those types of runs and keep the chains moving or stay ahead of the chains, you're making everyone else on offense happy because you're opening things up to allow for a whole lot of different play calls.
They'll look to throw now on first down. That'll be complete to Allen Lazard. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down. Straight ahead is Hall. And they move this all the way down to the 9. 88 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
Here's Hall again. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? On 2nd and goal, Fields throwing quickly to Wilson. And he'll get positive yardage there as he'll be touched down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football.
And he is in. Touchdown, New York. Breece Hall taking it in from a yard out. And the Jets go nearly the length of the field and finish it off with 6 points.
Well, he'd been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been unfair to bring someone else in to finish the job. So they go back to him again, and he delivers with a touchdown run.
Carlson's extra point up and good, and that makes it a 17-10 score. Carlson back out there now to send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Dallas offense set for this next drive. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. To throw is Prescott. That's going to be caught by Pickens. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. Prescott from the gun. He hits blue. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Second and a couple. Prescott now from the 50. Left side to Lamb. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. Prescott and Lamb hooking up for the Cowboy first. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Dancing to his left. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
They asked him to take charge and get them to a spot where they could at least attempt a kick before the half, and he does just that. Didn't trust what he saw downfield, so he took it upon himself to get them into field goal range using his legs. That's coming through with a play they needed in a big spot.
Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. This from 54 yards away. That's leaking to the right, and he missed it by a foot or two. It's no good. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down, 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. 1 touchdown is the difference. 17-10 our score, and we are back underway on EA Sports. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Here's the Jets offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. And I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and that'll make it second down.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Out right, he's got Ruckert. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run because we envision them in offenses, catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. A give running right is Hall. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. 104 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
On first down, right back to Hall. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Nice chunk of yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on second. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
From the 37, they work on 2nd and 6. Back to throw. Fields. This pass complete to Ruckert. So he stopped for no gain. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
If you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal.
From the gun on 3rd down, Fields. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. A loss of 3 on the sack made by multiple defenders. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
And that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this second half.
Couple of Jets there in on the stop.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. They'll try and run again with Blue. And he'll get about 3 up past the 25.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass. But in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right. It might go to them in this game.
I like that. MVU. Well done.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd. That is caught. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 17 yards on the play there, and the Cowboys have a first down.
And it's pretty evident that this passing game has been frustrated so far. They haven't really moved the ball the way we might have expected, but this is a good pickup here for the first down.
Now Prescott. He finds his man, complete. It's Ferguson. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Throwing, Prescott. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play. 3rd and 7 now.
Well, sometimes despite the best planning, the defense actually has a plan as well, and they blanketed everyone on that play. They were able to close it down and spill in for a loss.
To the air again, Prescott. He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 41-yard line. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first.
But they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. He really hasn't been able to get on track running the football, averaging less than 4 yards a carry.
Yeah, I think that they're going to enjoy the film session because all the defenders are filling their proper gaps on just about every play. And you know what they always say for a defensive coach? When I click off this film, I better see 11 jerseys in the picture going after the ball carrier.
A short one there taken in by Ferguson. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, you can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Here's Prescott. Going right back to Ferguson. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's second down.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Prescott. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on third down. Prescott yet again. Throw left side complete. That's Lamb. So they'll get nothing out of that play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on third down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
And this one is right through. And that will cut this lead back down to 4 now. It's 17-13. Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. And I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
So after the made field goal, back out is Aubrey to kick this away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Back on offense, New York gets set to take over. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Fields now to throw. That's taken in, complete to Reynolds. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Second down and a little more than a yard here. They'll give to Hall. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 114 yards rushing for him now on 17 carries.
Well, you know they had a third down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
Now it's Fields. That is caught. Josh Reynolds. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A Jet first down, 18 big yards that time. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Down at the 35, it'll be second down.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
Here's Fields. Finds Lazard quickly on the slant. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 23. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first. A handoff for Hall. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. Second and 7 from the 20. Hall again. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up first and goal.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. Because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Here's Fields. And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Allen Lazard. A 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Jets will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the third. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Carlson's extra point up and good. And that pushes the lead up to 11. So now Carlson, after the touchdown, called on to send this one away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. And out now come the Cowboys. So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Completes this one to Pickens. And nothing to speak of there after the catch as they get him right to the ground at the 37. 13 yards and a first down, Cowboys. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's the Cowboys in possession of the football, but they trail here as we begin the fourth quarter of play. They'll run up the middle here with Blue. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
From the 44 now, here's 2nd and 4. Here's Prescott. Got an open man. It's Pickens. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Prescott now. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. 11 yards and a Cowboy first down. They hand it off. It's Blue. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
That was a really nice play, able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. He'll find Lamb. That's complete. So the completion results there in 9 yards, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. To throw is Prescott. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
On first down, it's Blue. And this will be a gain of 6 when it's all said and done. Down to the 15 from the 21.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
2nd down and 4. Now Prescott. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. On to give. This is Blue. And he is going to lose yardage here. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down. 3 yards in the wrong direction.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
And his kick is good. And that'll make this an 8-point game. So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps him inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
So after the made field goal, back out is Aubrey to kick this away. On the return is Xavier Gibson. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. New York ready to go again offensively. The field goal we just saw has this now at a 1-score game. And on this side of the football, things are getting pretty tenuous, a little stressful.
Blood pressure up a little bit, you think?
I think up a lot a bit.
Could you imagine taking the pulse right now? It might be like a jackhammer out there on that side of the ball. But here's what the deal is. I think what we've observed is a team that's been playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win. And they've got to get back to that. And that means opening things up again, being a little more free in what they're trying to get done on offense. Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. Connection made to Ruckert. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd and 2. Give to Hall running right. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from 2nd and 2 to a tough 3rd and 4. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
And the fair catch is taken at about the 13-yard line here. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Cowboys will be backed up to start the drive. They'll have it 1st and 10. So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. They begin with a carry for Blue. And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20. Jamie Sherwood there to make the stop.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain, so you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
Pickens going in motion left. Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. Limited running room as he'll get about 3 to the 21.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. At 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
A dependable running back is a coordinator's best friend, someone you can trust in those situations to push forward and get the yardage you need however possible.
Here's a give left side, Blue with it. And that to the 30. It'll be 2nd down.
I think if we put together a job description for a middle linebacker, we would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take on blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there. Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd down at 7. They go again with Blue. And this is going to be a Cowboys 1st down as he'll get this up to about the 42.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They go with Blue between the tackles, and he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 75 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
And when you get good yardage like that on 1st down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. They'll try to throw now. Prescott. That's going to be caught by Pickens. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down. Looking to throw. Prescott able to hit his target, Lamb. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Prescott to throw it. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And that's going to be another 1st down as the tackle made at the Jets' 21. Now a shotgun handoff. Blue.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Here comes 2nd down and 5. Now a handoff to Blue running left side. He will push his way down to about the 14.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line to hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
The noise is getting deafening. Here's 3rd down and 3. And this will be caught. Touchdown. So in the final minute here now, a 2-point conversion will tie the game.
The touchdown's massive, but now they've got to have 2 to possibly take this to overtime.
All right, so the Cowboys will go for 2 here. Prescott. Forced out to his, and he's going to get into the end zone. The 2-point conversion successful, and we've got ourselves a tie football game. So now, after the clutch field goal, he's back out there to boot it away in what's now a tie ball game. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. And New York set to take the field. They need to get this around the 40 to have a chance to win it in regulation. From the 40, it's a 57-yard field goal, so that gives you a gauge.
And all they're trying to do now is pick up yardage in good chunks and get out of bounds to stop the clock. If they end up running a play and get tackled in bounds, they're worried the clock may run out on them and finish the game.
Oh, look at this. It's intercepted. He may go. Here's 1st and goal. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. Williams is in. Touchdown, Dallas.
Sometimes offenses can get too cute down near the goal line, but there's nothing fancy about this one. As Coach Lombardi would say, we get a seal here, and we get a seal here, and we run this play in the alley. And that's good work to hit the hole hard and finish in the end zone.
Now the extra point up and good by Aubrey. And they will take a 7-point lead. So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. So the Jets now down by 7, a little over 30 seconds remaining. They've surrendered a double-digit lead but can rescue themselves late as they come up on 1st down. Now Fields. And he's got a 1st down to the 40-yard line, but the clock runs. So now the focus shifts to the Jets, trailing by a touchdown. 24 seconds to go. They need a touchdown to the PAT to tie it as they come up 1st and 10. All eyes on Fields. And that one drops to the ground. Incomplete. Clock stops here just inside of 20 seconds. 19 left. There have been quite a few plays they might look back on and say, we really have hurt ourselves, and that was another example.
And this is late game execution. Everything on the line, so it all has to come together properly. The throw's made. Where's the catch? Got to catch in that spot.
Back to throw. Fields. Oh, and that nearly ended it. That should have been intercepted, but he cannot corral it, and that is a lifeline there with third down coming up. Nearly an interception. If that one's picked off, it's over, so a new lease on life, so to speak.
A lot of times when you're in coverage, you're so focused on the man and the coverage that sometimes the ball, if it arrives, it surprises you. That may have happened to him in that situation.
That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. This defense looking impenetrable now. 3 straight incompletions are giving him nowhere to go with the football. Maybe a little frustrated back there.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. When you've missed on 3 straight, there's going to be some frustration. But now he's got to make sure that that frustration is temporary, not lingering. Big throw coming up.
He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, somebody lit a fire under that offense during the break, Charles. Remember, they trailed at intermission. They come out, they have the big second half, and that lifts them to the victory.
And Brandon, trailing at halftime, we always talk about teams making adjustments. You know what the best adjustments usually are? It's just executing better. Because the game plan you put in place at the beginning of the week often still holds. You don't have to make wholesale changes. You just have to do it a little bit better, a little cleaner. And they did that in the second half, and that led them to victory.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we sign off from MetLife Stadium.